skydive back down. Oh, take my hand, don't let go, skyward bound.
Hi, so first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for checking out the video. I'd also like to introduce myself. My name is Max Hostetler, and I'm applying for the management position for the I Love KickBoxing studio in Bel Air, Maryland. Let's go ahead and jump into these questions. Why would I be a good fit for this job? One of the main reasons I'd really be a good fit for this job is that I had experience working with a brand new facility built in Bel Air, Maryland. That is actually my previous employer. I worked with them from the ground up, that is selling memberships by myself in a lobby with a tablet and a computer. And essentially I would sign them up, and I was basically in charge of ramping up sales, kind of building up customer awareness that we were opening and stuff like that. So I was really in charge of the ramp up. And then when we opened up, I worked alongside corporate to train the new employees on our POS systems, on our member systems, dealing with all of the issues that happen on opening day. I think I have a lot of hands-on experience that could really help when we open up our new facility in Bel Air, Maryland. Another reason I think I'm a really good fit for this job is that I have 3 years of personal training experience. Now, most of that experience is small group classes. A lot of the small group classes I had were mostly women. We would do a lot of mitt work, so we would do a lot of boxing combined with, functional activity like kettlebells, medicine balls, rope slams, stuff like that. So I do have a lot of experience training women, keeping things interesting, marketing those classes, and just really keeping things flowing. So I think that can really carry over into what you guys are doing at I Love KickBoxing. Why am I looking for a new position? So I want to work with somebody that's innovating and somebody that's doing something new. It looks like there's a lot of room for growth as well. That really attracts me to this position. I also think I've been working almost every facet of the fitness world. With all that experience, I'm really ready to put it to the test. What do I dislike about my previous employer? I can't really say there's anything I dislike. They're a very reputable company. Honestly, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have learned a lot of the things I've learned. I wouldn't have gained a lot of the experience I've gained, the good and the bad. There's one thing I could say that I dislike is that there's no room for growth in the location that I'm at. And that's what I'm looking for. So that would be one of the main things that I do dislike. How do I deliver top-notch customer service? I think one of the biggest things to me, one of the most important things is, am I answering my prospects' questions and am I answering my customers' questions? In the fitness world, there's so many opinions out there that if we can give a client or a prospect a quick, effective answer that they can really take and run with, they're gonna stay with us and they're gonna want to keep coming. Now, one of the last things that I do to really deliver top-notch customer service, and I think this is one of the most important one that people miss out on, is not fighting fire with fire. So if I have a customer come to me and they're angry or they're upset about something, I want to be able to work with them and not against them. So if me and that customer can work together as a team to make me happy and them happy, that's really the best case scenario. How do I create rock star employees? One of the most important things to me for creating a rock star employee is having extreme ownership as a leader. Now what that means is I never pass off responsibility onto an employee. And that builds a lot of confidence and a lot of trust. Another thing I do is I make sure I treat every employee with the same amount of respect I would want to be treated with. If they come to me with an idea, I'm all ears. I want to hear everything that they have to try to make the club better. So they're not just an employee in my mind, they're a part of the team. And lastly, I look at myself as the prime motivator. If I don't come into work excited, my employees really aren't going to want to either. How do I stay inspired? So there's lots of ways I really kind of help myself stay inspired throughout the week, throughout the day. But I think one of the main ones, one of the real world examples for me, my clients. My clients are really my inspiration. I talk to them about this every day. I'm supposed to be inspiring them, but a lot of the times they're inspiring me. And that's just because if they can get through the hardships that they have to get through, or if they can get into that new dress that they wanted to get into last summer, that motivates me that if they can get over their goals and if they can get over their hardships, then I can too. What do I think makes a great leader? I think a great leader is somebody who doesn't fold under pressure. I think a great leader is somebody that takes the ownership of his employees' mistakes and fixes them. I also think a great leader is somebody who works with his employees and not above them. He kind of follows them into battle, if you will. I think that builds a lot of trust and confidence in me. Describe a time you were faced with conflict among coworkers or employees, and how did I handle it? The best example I can think about for this question is when we had 2 employees, and essentially at the front desk you have shifts. So you have a 10 to 3 and you have a 3 to 12. Now, The 10 to 3 employee believed that they didn't have to complete a task for the employee relieving them from 3 to 12. And there was kind of an argument between the two about who should complete what task when they come in. Now, my idea that I provided to management was that we create a checklist. And basically, throughout the employee's shift, they have a checklist of things that they need to do. And they go on that checklist and they check off each task. And at the end of that shift, they sign off on the sheet. Now, the incoming employee goes to the checklist and makes sure that all these tasks are done. If they are not, then they will notify management. This created a clear checklist of what needed to be done, and it also created accountability for any employees that weren't doing the tasks that they were assigned to them. So it made it very easy to go to that employee and ask them why the task wasn't done and how we can kind of work together in the future to make sure that those tasks are completed. Have I ever led a team of people? I did lead a team of people when we opened up the facility. So when we opened up the facility, we did have corporate come in and teach. Now, corporate had me work alongside them, teaching sales techniques, teaching how to answer the phones, how to work the operating systems for member sign-in, POS systems, making sure we were following up with members and prospects and stuff like that. So I really was on the ground floor teaching people and working alongside corporate to make sure things ran smoothly. So what is my experience with marketing? I am certified in Google AdWords and Google Analytics. I run several ad campaigns for local companies in Bel Air, local small businesses. My experience with social media, I ran a social media fitness page. I ran a YouTube where I documented lifestyle. So I would go places, I would document my food, my diet, document myself exercising and working out and stuff. I had lots of followers. I ran an Instagram page. So I did a lot of marketing with that to try to get new subscribers and new followers on Instagram. Now, my experience with group fitness marketing, most of it is centered around my own group classes. So I created my own group classes, one called Pad Work and one called Force and Flow. And with these two classes, I basically implemented marketing campaigns for Facebook. Now, a lot of the marketing ideas that I used for my personal training services and my group fitness, I think could be really beneficial for I Love Kickboxing and a lot of the experience I gained. Bel Air is a very tight-knit community. A trend that I've been seeing is a lot of the fitness facilities that do a lot of community-driven things do very well. So I think a very important thing for I Love Kickboxing to do would be to get in with small businesses in the area and try to build a presence there. What do I do for fun? I stay active, whether that be 4 days a week at the gym, and then 2 days a week I'm doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai kickboxing. When I'm training people, it helps me tell them, find out what's fun for you, because you can get active, you can lose that weight. The best way to do it is find out what's fun for you. What do you enjoy? So lastly, another thing I like to really do for fun is go hiking. In Maryland, this whole region is perfect for hiking. I've been doing it since I was a kid. It helps me clear my head, and I love doing it. Two of my favorite trails, I'd have to say, probably the Billy Goat Trail, Gunpowder State Park. They have some great trails, and it's really close to me. So if I want to pop in for a morning hike and clear my head for the rest of the day, I can do that. What is the difference between praise and motivation? Honestly, this is one of my favorite questions on the interview. I feel like a lot of people pass this up and they don't think about it a lot, but it's a big deal. With praise, we are telling the person you are. So you are great. You are fit. Every time they do something good or reach a goal, you are awesome. As opposed to motivation. Motivation is in the bad and the good. So if they're doing bad or they're good, you're pointing it out. You're pointing out what they are doing right, how they got there. When you praise somebody, for doing good, you're defeating their ability to intrinsically create their own motivation. Because if they're having a hard time, they're not reaching that goal. If you've just been praising them the entire time, they're going to feel very defeated when they can't reach that goal. As opposed to saying, wow, you lost 10 pounds this month. What did you do to do that? And having the client in their own head think about, wow, yeah, I did do that. That was awesome. So when they don't hit that goal, they're like, well, I did it before and this is how I did it. So you can really use motivation when the client is struggling. You can use that time to kind of affirm their feelings. Why was that workout challenging? Well, what do you think you were doing wrong? What do you think you were doing right? Because you remember that workout last week, you were killing it. You were doing awesome. What was going on with this workout? Really trying to motivate them in the good and the bad so they can see why they're feeling the way they feel, so we can address that and kind of keep them plugging. I think motivation is always the way to go to keep a client on track. Okay, last question. Name 2 of my personal goals. This is personal, but it's also business motivated. I want to become the industry leader to fitness marketing business. I want to be the innovator. I'll do that by working with a cutting edge company that's on the forefront of what's going on. And I believe that I Love Kickboxing is doing that. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I think that working with this company and learning the ins and outs of how I Love Kickboxing does things, I'll really be able to obtain this goal. Okay, so on a lighter note, another one of my goals is to hike every trail in the Maryland, DC metro area. I'm on 28 trails now. So I've completed 28 trails. There's 350 trails in this area that I have to complete by the end of 2018. I use an app called All Trails. Basically what I do is I check off each trail I complete, and it kind of helps me keep accountable and make sure that I'm getting closer and closer to that goal. Okay, so it looks like we've reached the last question on the interview. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I'm very excited for this opportunity. I think that I Love Kickboxing is really on the forefront of what's going on. I just hope that I have the opportunity to work with you. Again, my name is Max Hostetler. I'm applying for the management position for the I Love Kickboxing studio in Bel Air, Maryland. You can contact me at 410-688-8244, or you can email me at maxhostetler@icloud.com. Thank you for your time. Hope to hear from you soon. Okay, so today we're going to demonstrate 3 of my favorite exercises. The first exercise is going to be 10 reps of kettlebell cleans, 10 reps of kettlebell swings, and then 10 reps of burpee ball slams. So let's get started, Allison. So with the kettlebell cleans, we want to make sure that we're coming up with a deadlift, right? So we're sitting back on our heels, coming up. Here's our 1. We're going to pop up, 2, and then we're going to push, 3, high above our head. Make sure the back is nice and straight. We're not arching at all. Very good. Good. Pop up, press. Perfect. Awesome. All right, so next we're going to move on to the kettlebell swings. So when we're doing swings, we're making sure that we're not using our back as a lever. So we're really using the hips, swinging the kettlebell out to right about here, midline. So let's go ahead and get started. Very good. Perfect. All right, next we have ball slam burpees. Just make sure we're keeping the intensity high. We're popping right back up. We're not sitting too long on the ground. Very good. Ball slam, pop back. Good. Pop down. Perfect. Good. Those legs back forward. All the way back. All the way back. Right back up. Good. Perfect.
As Max said, I'm Allison, and I've been working in his group class for the past 6 months. We absolutely love coming to work out. He makes it fun, and I've also seen drastic improvement in my endurance and also fitness level. Brian, the photographer, and I are actually getting married next week, and Max has definitely helped us to get in shape for the wedding. So thanks, Max.
You're welcome.